Hey Taurus, it's Empress Rose here. Welcome to your reading. These are general readings, so we take what works, we leave what doesn't, as with everything in life. And if I don't catch your wavelength, check your other major on this one, check your other major placements. If you get something out of this, hit the thumbs up button, and also you can hit that subscribe button. It's free, and it helps other people find the channel, and it also gives me a little kick. So we're going to start with some oracle cards for an intuitive vibe of where we might be going today. And then we're going to move to the golden tarot today for a more traditional tarot type spread. All right, so we're starting with the oracle mystical moments here, seeing if it wants to give us anything or if we're going to have to go a different route here. All right, for Taurus. Okay. All right, anything else there? Perfect. Okay, and then we're going to pull some from this deck too. This is Moonology and Work Your Light. So let's see if we have any volunteers. Yeah, we've got one. Very enthusiastic volunteer here. Okay, we've got two. This looks good. No way. Aries just got this one. Okay. So, Sisterhood of the Rose. Beauty, devotion, priestess, mystic, teacher. You might be receiving one of these roles, or you might also be embodying one of these roles for somebody else. It's just that the wisdom of the universe, that energy is coming through somebody else. And it might be, you might be part of sort of the telephone line that energy is coming through and passing it on to others. So here I see both receiving and giving this, some divine wisdom here, both seeking out and paying forward some wisdom and some yeah. And then we have Miss Sunshine. So I like this because you've got the sunshine in your hand here, but you also have this halo right here. And then you have this halo right here, Miss Sunshine. So this is about making choices and decisions about how we're going to think about things and how we're going to view things, making decisions and choices to be happy, and you're the only one that can do that, right? You can hear, you can listen, people can teach you, show you, whatever, but that is a bridge that only you can cross. That's a bridge only you can cross. But as there's some uplifting energy here, and it's coming from a choice that you're making about how to view something, how to see something. So you're making a decision to think more positively, to view something in the most positive light possible, to view something in a way that actually makes you feel happy and not in a way that makes you feel depressed or anxious or something like that. However, as we're rising up, there's sort of a darker underbelly to either your personality or the situation that's coming to light here, and we're getting a chance to really look at it. So when I say darker, I don't mean bad. I just mean something that it's beautiful. It's still a very beautiful part of you, an integral part of who you are. But it's the subconscious issues and the darker shadow self here. But this rising up into love and appreciation for your life and for yourself, it brings us into more light, right? So to me, this is like having some unconditional love for yourself, that no matter what you find down here, you don't need to be afraid of it. It's part of your whole beautiful self. And it's just not something that we bring out to the light very much, but that's it. It's just, maybe it's your dark room. It's in the dark a little bit. This is fine. It's very beautiful. You can bring it up. You can look at it. And it's so much easier when we make conscious choices about how we're going to interact with ourselves and how we're going to interact with those parts of ourselves that we tend to keep hidden away. We're going to love those parts unconditionally. And we can make that decision before we even look at them, before we even know what's down there, before we even make that trip down there into our own personal underworld. We can make a decision that we're going to love the whole thing, no matter what we find down there, no matter what goes on. I mean, we don't have to love the things about ourselves, but we can still love ourselves as a whole person while also working towards becoming better people, becoming more more ourselves, and who we want to be. And then some of those things end up being very beautiful parts of ourselves that are integrated, and some of them just need a little sanding down, a little work. But we're not hating that part of ourselves. We're allowing that part as we rise, that part of ourselves also rises into more light, and we don't hate it. Well, we do, but we're gentle with it. I mean, we do, but we're trying not to. And then conclusions are within reach. Full moon eclipse. So something's ending here. Something's happening. This is sort of like a shuk, a gate closing on the past. This is how change has to happen. This is how we move forward. To me, this is always the valve closing as your blood moves through your blood vessels, the valves closing behind to make sure, you don't end up with gallons of blood just in your feet and big giant feet and nothing up here. Right. So it's got to shut behind. The doors have to close behind us as we move through life. So there could be a door closing back here. And you may need some help and some guidance to navigate that closure. But it is something coming to a conclusion. It's not necessarily bad. It's not good. It's just something is ending here. And I think you're really being asked to maintain a positive attitude, maintain, that mentality that everything really is always working out for you, whether it feels like it or not right now, and that you can handle anything, and just keeping making a choice to be happy, even though there's something ending here, and it could be a little difficult. But it's choosing to have a mental. Oh, I don't want that card. I don't want that card for an overall reading, but they did. Fuck, seriously? Oh. What the fuck, Taurus? Okay. 7. We're having a positive attitude. I miss sunshine. 7 of Swords. What? 8 of Swords. How exciting. And together we have 15 swords. Wonderful. So this 7 of Swords is about, this card has come up in almost every reading this week. I don't get what's going on, but people have been sneaky, people have been lying, people trying to get away with things. There's supposed to be some sort of open discussion, open conflict, open exchange of ideas. But instead of doing that, somebody in the situation is trying to sneak away. They don't want to have an open discussion. They don't want to have an open exchange of ideas. They don't want to talk about it. Somebody here it's a way of controlling somebody else's behavior, of saying, if you knew that, they know that if whoever else, and it better not be you, Taurus, they know that whoever else in this situation, if they knew the truth, if they knew what this person really thought, they would change their behavior in a way that would negatively affect the person that has the truth to tell. So instead of allowing this person agency over their own life and the ability to know the things that would affect them, this person just sneaks off. I'm not going to talk about it because you might change your behavior in a way that I don't like and would be problematic for me. So I would like to keep the situation kind of, I'd like to find resolution by just not talking about it. I'd like to find resolution by lying about it. I'd like to just not have to deal with this situation at all. Much like I feel when I see this card, I'd just rather not deal with this. I do not want to deal with this. I don't want to talk about it. That's really funny because I felt the feeling of this card when I saw it. I was like, I do not want to deal with that. What if I just sneak it back in the deck? They'll never know because my deck's not. I mean, I can't operate it like that at all. That's not who I am. But this is just. I wonder if you all know like the same person, and it's just this one person that's lying to the whole world and trying to get away with something sneaky. Well, yeah, trying to get away with something sneaky, like, or if there are just that many people we're having to deal with right now, or just ourselves, right? Like I have that feeling too. Like I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to look at this. I'd rather just like put this back in the deck and pretend it didn't come out. So then we have 8 of Swords. This is inner lying. Are you lying to yourself? Oh my God. You could totally be lying to yourself with these 2 cards right here. Somebody's lying. Somebody's sneaking. Are you sneaking on yourself? our inner landscape is really kind of funny. So you could totally be trying to sneak something by your own self here. Because Eight of Swords is all about the inner traps, the traps we make. So maybe this is why we're dealing with Miss Sunshine, because you might have some issues going on down here about lying, about being sneaky, about feeling trapped. I mean, because this little liar here, he feels a little trapped, right? He's like, if I talk about this openly, it's for sure going to go bad. So I'll just lie about it and whatever. But part of the way that guy feels trapped is that he's got this Eight of Swords in his head. Like, the Eight of Swords, she's like daintily tied up with a bow. She's not really trapped. She's not really stuck. These swords aren't blocking her way. In fact, they're nicely off to the sides. So she's supposed to navigate through this. But in her mind, she's like, I cannot. I am a damsel in distress. I am trapped here. I can't move. And every time she says that, this little bow gets a little tighter and this knot gets a little tighter. And the only limitation here is in her head. That's it. That's the only limitation here is in your head. So you may have, and this is dealing with the crazy little stories we have in our heads, the crazy little, our darker parts, our darker self. So this could be you, Taurus, that's trying to sneak, trying to lie, and feels like, I don't have a choice. This is her mantra. I just don't have a choice. I just don't have a choice. We don't get to choose, a lot of the events we find ourselves in, but we do get to choose how we react and respond to it. There is a time and place for this. I can't just be really judgmental about this, because there's a time and a place for just get out the back, Jack, make a new plan, stand. Like that, there is. And sometimes we have to do that. But you might be behaving in a bad way, or not a bad way, but your shadow self may be rearing its head here, because you feel like there's no other option. But the Eight of Swords is telling us that there is, you just aren't wanting to look at it. You're just not able to look at it right now, but you could make a choice to look at it. My nose is itchy. All right, Taurus, let's get going with this actual spread before any of these dastardly cards pop out again. Past, present, inner landscape, what's at issue, environment, to-do list, possible outcome. It doesn't get better. If you were hoping for some glowing reading, I'd suggest getting a different chart, astrological chart. Well, maybe no. Holy shit, Taurus. Jeez. In your recent past, you've had a change of fortune, a change of luck. Whatever causes luck, the wheel of fortune turned either in your favor or not in your favor, but it's always turning. So if you're feeling lucky right now, you're not going to be lucky soon. If you're feeling unlucky right now, it'll change. Don't worry. This is that part of our lives that's just completely out of our control. And that's what I was saying with this. Like, we may not have choices about the things that happen to us. We may not have choices about the luck that drops in our lap, good or bad. But we do have choices for how we're going to prepare for good luck and how we're going to prepare for bad luck. And we do have choices on how we deal with all of this once it arrives. Once these unexpected events come in and flip our lives a little bit, we do have choices on how to deal with that. But this is talking about the part of life that's really outside of our command and our control. That luck, good luck, bad luck, whatever we've throughout time and history and cultures called the thing that we do not understand why things happen the way they do. In your current situation, you have Ace of Wands. Oh, bright new idea. You're inspired, you're excited. There's some new idea, new inspiration, new creative project, or something very exciting and inspiring has come down. It makes you feel alive, like you want to skip ahead. You're feeling very excited about this. This is a new idea, a brilliant new idea, a brilliant new opportunity coming in. Very exciting, making you very eager about the future, wanting to jump and move forward towards the future. Your current landscape, inner landscape, your hopes, your fears, Three of Coins, looking for that team. You would like a team of people that know what they're doing, practical. This is very practical work. This is a very practical team. This is a group of people that can work well together, communicate well together, and all together they create something very beautiful. So This isn't necessarily friendship. This isn't necessarily that. It's just looking for that team, looking for people to work with, looking for people to help make your dreams come true. And then in the process, you know, hopefully, and a proper team, there's some reciprocity here, and we're all working together for a common goal. So that's what you're hoping for. That's what you'd like, is to work together towards a common goal. In your, what's at issue here is the moon. Things are being revealed. Could be these lies revealed. Could be this inner dialogue that's being revealed. Things are, and there are, there are also things that are being intentionally hidden here. So there's something, you may be looking at team members, very excited about a new idea, looking, building your team, but somebody's keeping something from you. Somebody's hiding something. And the moon always deals with that inside of us, which is tameable, that which is untamable, which is basically this card. You know, we've got that which we can see, and all of that resides in darkness from ourselves. So you could be keeping something from yourself with this Miss Sunshine here, that this darkness is part of you, this thing, and these two right here, it really does seem like you're keeping some sort of truth from yourself. You're in denial about something. And you don't want to talk about it, and you don't want to deal with it. I mean, if that's strong enough, you're not even watching this anymore. So this moon here is things, somebody's hiding something. It kind of looks like somebody's hiding something from themselves, but it could be one of these team members hiding something, and being sneaky about something, not wanting to talk about something. But there's a real sense of hiding something, keeping it. And the moon deals with subconscious issues, right? The moon is our subconscious issues card. So there's something in your subconscious that, or somebody's subconscious, it could be somebody you're trying to work with and deal with that's got some issues down there that they're really struggling with. So you might be really having an inner struggle with some issues, not wanting to talk about it, feeling very stuck, feeling very trapped, feeling like you don't have choices and you don't have options. The way this Wheel of Fortune turned, you might be stuck in a situation where you're like, I don't deserve to be in this situation. I didn't do anything wrong. I don't deserve this. And just really not wanting to deal with it, to talk about it, or talk about maybe some things that maybe you did do, that this is a natural result of, right? So there could be subconscious issues that just somebody here's not wanting to deal with. There could also be some things that somebody's hiding from you. And I really wish that the Seven of Swords in particular, I would really, really like to see like names, dates, specific events, so that we're not all going off paranoid. So unless you know exactly like who's been lying to you, who's withholding stuff from you, I would say it's probably you. I think you're the number one culprit here, because we have this Miss Sunshine card here, and we have that darkness, that reversed moon down here. So what's going on around you? Page of Cups. People starting to realize how they feel, and there might be some surprising feelings in it. Man, this is all seeming like you've got subconscious issues coming up here, Taurus. Surprising feelings, and there's something in your environment. There could be somebody in your environment that's exploring some new feelings, exploring some emotions, doing some inner exploration about what's going on, and they might be finding some surprising things inside that they did not expect to find. This could also be something in your environment that's bringing up some very surprising feelings for you that you did not realize, and now is exposing this whole underbelly of the way you operate and the way you think, because there's just surprising emotions here is basically what this card is. This could be someone you know. This is a student vibe. This is learning about feelings, learning about emotions. So this could be someone you know that's having some surprising feelings that they were not expecting. This could also be you having some things come up in your environment that are raising some very surprising feelings to you. What I love about this Page of Cups is, although it's a little tumultuous, a little surprising, a little difficult, this page is really approaching the surprise fish in the cup with a lot of curiosity. And that's very, very important when exploring our darker underbellies and the things that society has told us to keep hidden. It's very important to approach those things with curiosity and a lot of gentleness and a lot of curiosity. As a student who's just learning, and not as a judge and not as a whatever, we're just learning about these things come up, and we're learning about them, we're dealing with them. So 5 of Wands, your to-do list. Engage in open conflict. You didn't want to do that. This is not the reading you want to hear at all. You didn't want to engage in open conflict, and your to-do list is literally talk it out. There will be conflict. People aren't going to be happy about what you have to say. And you're going to have to stand your ground, and you're going to have some sort of discussion. It might not be as bad as you think it's going to be. I mean, you think it's going to be bad and that you have no choice but to keep this a secret. This is... bring it out in the open. It might not be that bad, and it might be over before you know it. You need to talk about it. You need to talk about it. This is the theme of the week. You got to start talking about your problems with people. You can't just be keeping them to yourselves and being sneaky. Here it is. It might there be some conflict? Yeah, but prepare for that. Prepare for that in the best way possible. Understand, making sure that you're calm, making sure that you're clear on what you want. But this is talk about it, open it up. And there might be conflict, but oh well, it's not unsurvivable. You're not getting stabbed here. You're not getting shot in this conflict. You're just having a little pre-dawn melee in the streets, right? Just outside the city. That's all it is. There might be some bruises here. But it comes under Ace of Wands. So you have this idea and you have this feeling and you have this intuition, and you need to go fight for it. And it is, you're going to give and you're going to take it here too, right? This isn't, you can't just dish something out and not take the return. So you're going to have to talk about it. You're going to have to engage in some sort of conflict, openly talking about it, and you're going to take your lumps too, right? That's part of the problem here. That's part of what's going to happen here. This is what you were trying to avoid. You don't think you have a choice, but you do. And this is saying you have to choose to be open about something, openly disagree, maybe even with this team. Maybe you just have some issue with one of your team members, and you just gotta just say what you can be smart about it. It doesn't have to be a big fight. It can be calm. It can be I got something to talk about here. But then where a possible outcome here is 5 of Swords. This is a lot of swords, a lot of shit that needs to get talked out here. 5 of Swords, difficult choices between a rock and a hard place. Exactly what you were trying to avoid with this sneaking, or whoever was trying to avoid with this sneaking. Between a rock and a hard place, having to make some difficult choices. Having to decide if you're going to win this, if you want to win this argument, and if that's worth it. Is this the hill you want to die on? Is this the hill that you want this relationship to end on? Is this how you got to just make some really tough choices? There will be no winner. The winner will not feel good. It'll be a Pyrrhic victory in a way. So victory, there's a place for that, right? Do you want to just win for winning's sake, or do you want to win, but in the meantime you've destroyed a relationship or something like that, or you've lost an opportunity, but that's not wrong to do, right? It's just a choice that you got to make here, and there's just a really difficult choice before you right now. You could end up in a situation where there's an ultimatum. Once the ultimatum is laid out, though, it's pretty hard to pull back from that, because you're already aware that you're dealing with someone that doesn't want to work with you, that isn't even trying, right? And then we have to give the ultimatum, and the ultimatum basically is I don't know where to go from here. I gotta do something else. That's assuming you've tried everything else. So in this Sisterhood of the Rose, you are gonna need some guidance. Definitely be reaching out to people that are here to help you, therapists, spiritual leaders, whatever, for some help in this whole. This is really a really tough reading. There's a lot of subconscious issues involved here. There's a lot of unpredictability here. You think it's predictable, but it's really not. There's been some hiding, some sneaking, some difficult choices, and it just needs to come out in the open. There just needs to be an open discussion about what's going on here. Get it all out from behind closed doors and discuss it. And yeah, it's going to lead exactly where you thought it was going to lead, in difficult choices and difficult decisions. But it's not working to avoid the problem. Ride with spirit unbroken. I have been with you, my wild one, throughout every challenge to your free spirit, encouraging you to rise, believing in you. When you were shamed, denied, judged, and ridiculed, I was there with you. I went through it all right along with you. I knew that the time would come when you would be ready to rise above those experiences to let your wild heart be free. Now is the time. I'm loving this, rising above. Rising above. So, difficult reading, Taurus, but I hope you can manage to have a good week anyway.